and crooks, the media, not all of it, but much of it. They're the most crooked. They're almost as crooked as Hillary. They may even be more crooked than Hillary, because without the media, she would be nothing. Without the media, Hillary Clinton would be nothing. They're disgraceful.
And they are disgraceful. Donald Trump, earlier today, attacking the mainstream media for the blatant collusion with the Clinton campaign. Now, a lot of this has been uncovered by the WikiLeaks email dump. Now, some examples of this collusion include Reuters offering to share House Benghazi Committee intel with the campaign. CNBC's John Harwood, well, not only did he try and have lunch with Podesta, he advised the Clinton campaign and bragged how he got Donald Trump mad at the one debate that he moderated. Now, we also, of course, we have Katie Couric offering to, quote, showcase Clinton's personality in a potential interview with the Clintons. A political reporter offering the campaign the chance to edit a story. The New York Times allowing, quote, edits. The Boston Globe pumping up the campaign. Univision pressuring the campaign to attack Trump. MSNBC producer praising the Clinton campaign, bragging about their media support. We know about Donna Brazile leaking a town hall question to the campaign. Here with reaction, our Trump campaign national finance member, author of this brand new book, by the way. It's right there, as you can see. Our good friend Anthony Scaramucci is with us, hopping over the rabbit hole. Which one's the rabbit? Which one's...
I think Bo's the rabbit. I happen to be the hole, Sean. He's been hopping over me the rest of the time.
Democratic mayoral candidate Bo Dietl and nationally syndicated radio talk show host Larry Elder. You're really running for mayor?
Well, let me tell you something. Yes, I am a filed candidate for mayor of New York City against Big Bird de Blasio. I am
Comrade Bill de Blasio.
I am outraged about what the New York Times did. And just the New York Times is supposed to be the paper of record I respect. Every time I send them a communication, I don't hear nothing back. I wonder why. Now, all of a sudden, I was looking at these WikiLeaks here, and the communication director, Jennifer Palmieri, for Hillary Clinton, all of a sudden, she gets a call to Mark Lubavitch, whatever his name is. All of a sudden, she tells him...
Lubavitch?
Yeah, whatever his name is. Now, all of a sudden, they communicate with each other.
No, you're right. It's collusion.
You can veto anything out of the story you want. I thought the New York Times is the paper of record. When I read it, a paper is supposed to be nonpartisan. Now, all of a sudden, they got this Politico. This is wrong.
It is wrong.
Let me tell you something.
It's collusion.
I gave money to Donald Trump. I support Donald Trump as president. But whoever
Even
wins,
as a Democrat?
As a Democrat. But whoever wins, I'm going to support the President of the United States. But this, to me, is an outrage that these papers, these nonpartisan papers, are letting him look at the story before it's released and edit the story.
They've interviewed me 3 times in the last month. I've got no edit capabilities.
And they rake me over the coals. He could be the only Democrat that I raise money for, though, Sean. Okay,
wow.
This is our guy right
now. Yeah. Democrats,
by the way, congrats on the book, How Entrepreneurs Turn Failure into Success. You know, I learned a lot. We've been friends for a long time, but I learned a lot about you. You struggled. You had your problems in life.
I try to tell a real story in there. You know, I've been fired. I failed the bar exam. I had ups and downs the early part of my career. 2008 was a brutal year for us. Bo was there. Bo helped me get the SALT conference started, Sean. He was one of the first keynote speakers.
Let me tell you, he's one of the most resilient guys I've ever met.
I wanted to write a story that people could relate to growing up the way you and I did. Right. You know, coming from families like ours.
I'm really glad, aren't you?
Aspiration.
Because I'm glad I washed dishes and cooked and did construction.
I worked in the key
years.
food. You know, I worked for my uncle's motorcycle shop. My dad had me on the stone dock as a kid. You know, I was at Harvard Law School, but shoveling sand on the on these big barges out on Manhasset Bay, Long Island Sound.
Well, you know, it's
hang on a second. Let me bring Larry in. Larry, let's talk about this media. It's like an in-kind campaign contribution. You know, we get criticized, Larry, because we're open and honest. We tell people we have a point of view. This is an editorial. There's no pretense. But these guys act like they're fair and balanced. Here's my main question. How come the Politico, how come the New York Times people, how come all these outlets, there's no price to pay for the collusion that's been exposed here? Why?
Nobody gets fired, nobody gets reprimanded, it's business as usual. And Sean, it's one thing to complain about media bias, as we often do. It's another thing to try and determine exactly the effect media bias has on how people vote. And a friend of mine named Tim Grosclose, who wrote a book called Left Turn, has tried to do just that. He teaches at George Mason University, and he found out of the top 20 sources of news, 18 of them are left-wing, only 2 are not, and that's the Nightly News with Bret Baier and the Washington Times. And his analysis is that if the media were truly fair and balanced, if they really gave another point of view about fill in the blank, climate change, minimum wage, taxes, Obamacare, illegal immigration, if they really gave people the other point of view, the average state would vote the way Texas does, which is about 8 to 10 points in favor of the Republicans.